Alright, hello, welcome. My name is Frank, this is No More Paper. Pretty sure I'm live. Yeah. As I go live, oh geez, good news I guess. The market is rebounding. Quite a lot. It's almost like the last few days. What you can do is take a look at the overnight. Okay, we're down in the overnight. We're probably going to go up early in the morning or when markets open. Or like yesterday, we're up in the overnight. Now you're going to go down during the day. Same thing happened Sunday night. We were up in the overnight and then went down during the day. So is the opposite going to happen now? I don't know. Just because the initial reaction was positive doesn't mean it's going to stay positive, which you can see that here. We so badly need a market crash. I'm not looking forward to the knockdown effects, but we should have had this a long time ago. We should have had it a month after they released AI, and any sane person that used it could see that it was not life-changing. It was not world-changing. It was interesting. That's it. And the cost of the thing should have immediately told everybody that, hey, this needs a lot of work before we can move it out to the public. Anyway, the narrative right now is insane that they're going, well, I'll get to that in a bit. First, let's take a look at what the numbers were and see if we can see anything from them. So they're going to show inflation's not, it's steady. And actually showing that it came down. That's total bullshit. 100% baloney. Power bills continue to go up. I mean, this is excluding food and energy. Yeah, let's exclude the two things that cost the most for the normal person. And just pretend like that's okay. Let's import a bunch of cheap crap from China. Because, China employs slaves, literally. And let's just measure that cheap crap to pretend like we don't have inflation. Like nobody can afford anything. Sounds great, right? And even then, they can't make it look like it's going down. They just make it look like it's steady. Anyway, it might be enough now to drive markets again. Because the only thing that's going to continue this bubble is a rate cut and more quantitative easing, more printing money, which is what the government, the billionaires, this administration, they all want that to happen. But we'll see. We'll see if reality is going to smack them in the face, despite all the levers they're trying to pull. Also, later on today at 2 p.m., monthly budget statement. This will tell you how much money they're pouring into markets, how much money they're printing. All right. I find it hilarious that they're blaming Iran for this sell-off, which the market has ignored, going to all-time new highs for the past month. I understand that initially it was bad news for the markets, but then the market priced it in. That's how that works. And I don't think the fact that we're striking them, which we've been doing, is new information for the markets. But the thing that is new information for the markets is the worry. It's many inputs right now at this point. One is the worry that the Fed is going to raise rates. I wouldn't quite call that the major one, but it's there. It's definitely there. It might be the biggest one. I don't want it to be. What I want to be the biggest one is the slow realization that AI is not delivering, and it costs an insane amount of money for not delivering. So all this money that was being poured into data centers, that was being promised, I think you're seeing the first flush out of that. But of course, Yahoo's not going to say that because, well, do I even need to say? It's pretty obvious. Although they are trickling in some stories. Investors dump shares of AI's biggest winners. Oh, what else is there? Okay, so Oracle is releasing earnings tonight. I don't see that going well. No matter what they say. But what do I know? Let's see if they have anything on the inflation report yet. Annual inflation jumped to its highest level since 2023. Are we looking at the same numbers? Okay, so it did go up. I forgot to look at the consensus. And somehow that's bullish? That's just weird. That's why SpaceX is the hottest trade on college campuses. That's just wrong. I mean, it's bad enough that they're indoctrinated in campus instead of learning how to provide for themselves in life. But now they're pushing college kids with very little money to lose their money in the markets. Let's see. Nah, I don't care. I'll check it out later. I mean, we'll see how initial balance goes. That'll help us to understand how markets are really seeing this inflation report. What do we have later this week? We got PPI tomorrow. That's less important, but it's still important. It also causes margins to increase. It depends on your broker, but a lot of them do that. And then Friday, nothing. Oh, don't tell me, is it a holiday? No, I think Friday's when SpaceX is going public. All right, let's take a look at the charts. Excuse me, tired yet? All right, so yesterday, I sort of predicted again. I wasn't trading off it or anything because it was a pretty poor prediction, but it actually came true again. Actually, I traded against my prediction, which is usually what I do. I'm pretty terrible at this. If I need help. I've been hitting my head against the wall for a while now. My investments are doing okay, but as far as day trading, I just break even. At least I'm not losing money anymore, but kind of stuck. Anyway, at the open we had a pretty large drive up. I entered long after we broke through these areas. Now this is getting insane, how crowded this is. I gotta get rid of some of the older ones. Anyway, we sold off like crazy. Again yesterday. Falling all the way to, I don't have it on this chart, but trust me, that's the 50 simple moving average from a daily chart. We rebounded significantly from there. The overnight opened, hit previous day's close, hit the close, and went down from there. Kind of went down to an arbitrary level. At least I don't, it's the top of a range. This old range over here. That's where we stopped, but again, confirmation is important. Don't just mark these levels. Again, I'm talking to myself more than anyone. Don't just mark these levels and then think, oh, it's going to hit that and stop. That's not the way it works. If you had been watching, I bet it hit it once, rejected it, hit it again, probably rejected it with less selling pressure. That could have been a key. But I wouldn't have made the trade anyway, because with the impending news, it's not always a good idea. Anyway, like I said, see how initial balance goes. I have very little predictions for today because of the news, because we don't know how. I expect it'll be positive. So let's run the scenario of if we go higher. I would look at first yesterday's close as resistance. And then this would be yesterday's, pretty sure it's yesterday's value area. Yeah, 74.20 roughly, yesterday's value area. Value area high. Those areas could act as resistance, so keep an eye out for them, for rotation from them. Beyond that, we have an old key volume area I have marked at 74.57. That is the value area high of a past range, as you can see right here. I still don't have a very scientific way to draw different ranges, but it seems to be working so far. They look separate in my head. This range, then this range, and now this new range. If we head lower, $73.05 is an important area. It's the most recent important area. In fact, we might head down there initially only for liquidity, and then bounce from there. Who knows? That would be nice. That would be helpful to retail. I would consider going long there. The problem is it often happens during initial balance, or from 9:30 to 10, and its price is moving way too quickly to get a read on it. But often it's worth it just to do one micro and a very tight stop to see if that happens. But who knows? Beyond that, we have yesterday's value area low at 72.82. And then below that yet we have 50 SMA, which is now higher, I believe. Closer to 72.60. So it's actually higher than yesterday's low. So we'll see. Anyway, that's all I have for today. Good luck, goodbye.